probably bothered with streetwalkers anyway. So I don't think he was looking for men's rooms assignations. He wanted free intercourse with a willing companion, not the Kobe Bryant type up in a Colorado hotel room. You know, supposedly, I don't know if that was willing or unwilling, but I just read Coach Jackson's comments on Kobe in the paper today, which were terrible. He said that he left because of Kobe, and that Kobe actually was a manageable person, and he's the only player he ever encountered that he really couldn't do anything with it. He knew that he was out of here when the ownership began to favor Kobe, because he said he wanted Kobe traded. He told the ownership in January last he wanted Kobe traded, and then he saw that he was on the way out, him, Jackson. So just a byproduct of what we've been expressing here in LA. So I don't know about the hotel room assignations. Whitman was not on that level. So his sexuality, yeah. The only people available to him would be men, frankly. I don't think he probably ever had an experience with a woman. Because what woman were, first of all, willing to come near him, this ugly, smelly hunk of, dirt. And besides that, there weren't women who were free the way people are these days that could encounter him in a one-to-one direct relationship. People were protected, chaperoning themselves. Women were not walking around on the streets unless they were streetwalkers. So, which is not a good phrase, but I don't know another term for it. So it's a different age. So yes, he's, I don't know, bisexual. He's sexual. And he needs a sexual outlet, period. And he'll take whatever's available. I probably would have taken a donkey if it was there, I don't know. But he's honest about it anyway. He's not a liar, he's not covering anything up, he's totally frank. And for 1850 to be this frank, you've got to think about that. That is just an amazingly revolutionary attitude. Welcome is every organ and attribute of me and of any man hearty and clean, not an inch, not a particle, or inch is vile, and none should be less familiar than the rest. He doesn't care what any church says, what any preaching says, what Hinduism says, what Buddhism says, what Christianity says. He has already staked himself out as a totally independent thinker here. That's why I'm reading this, because I think this is a religious statement from the heart of America. Whether you agree with it doesn't mean it's everyone agrees. It's still someone we have coughed up who is both poet and what you'd have to reckon as a prophet, a quasi-prophet, in the sense that he's making a religious statement through poetry. That's what prophets do. Whether he has a following or not, I don't know. I think Whitman has a following. I am satisfied. I've said what I want. I'm happy. I see, I dance, I laugh, I sing. It's all that I need in life. As the hugging and loving bedfellow sleeps at my side in these inns and places, and this is certainly a male, through the night and withdraws of the peep of the day with hell's stealthy tread, leaving me baskets covered with white towels, swelling the house with their plenty, and I'm happy about whatever transpired in the night with this person, male or female. He's left or she's left me baskets covered with white towels, an image of beauty and purity and happiness. Still I postpone my acceptation and realization and scream at my eyes, and again, it's totally honest and frank, 1856. That they turn from gazing around me and down the road and forthcoming cipher and show me a sentence exactly the value of one, exactly the value of two, and which is ahead. Next line verse. Trippers and askers. He's a tripper. Maybe not an LSD tripper, but another kind of tripper, surround me. People I meet, the effect upon me of my early life, of the ward, of the city I live in, of the nation. The latest day's discoveries, events, society's authors, old and new. It's going to be a complete statement now. It's going to go on 50 sections. My dinner, stress, associates, looks, compliments, dues, the real or fancied differences of some men or women I love, the sickness of one of many folks who are of myself, or ill-doing, or loss, or lack of money, or depressions, or exaltations, battles, horrors, fratricidal war, the fever of doubtful news, the fitful events, these come to me days and nights and go from me again. But they are not the me myself. Here's a bit of Hinduism. the me myself. I suppose you'd call this the Atman. Apart from the pulling and hauling stands what I am. There is something in me different from all this changing around here. This inner being stands, amused, complacent, compassionate. That's a new word. He doesn't say compassionate. He says compassionating. He's going to make up new words. Idle, unitary, looks down, is erect, bends an arm. Just me standing here. So I sung of myself on an impalpable certain rest. Looking, you see, if I didn't force you to read this with me, you wouldn't pick it up. So the fact that I force it down your throats, like force feeding one of those babies where they shove food down their throat, whether they like it or not, is actually, a plus in some ways, because I force you to confront a different thing than you're used to, which to me is what education is about and why I do it. And I think actually you, as it's force-fed into you, you might reject it and barf it out, throw it up. That's totally disgusting, regurgitating crap that Professor Eisenman has laid on me, which I can well understand. On the other hand, you might find that this is quite extraordinary and that you wouldn't have encountered it otherwise. But you're certainly not going to do it yourself in 95% of the cases. And the people in your family's environment, you know very well, are not going to do it. Okay. I mean, I know, I can judge by my family. I know my mother isn't going to read this.